I don't know if this is normal or if I'm being crazy, but I turned 23 this month, and ever since then, I really feel like my biological clock is ticking. Like, I can hear it ticking out loud. All of a sudden, I feel like I need a baby and a husband and a career by tomorrow because I'm already behind schedule. Is that normal? I know that 23 is not that old, but it's the oldest I've ever been. So if you're trying to get married, let me know.
Too late. It's too late. Actually, she's 23, but
She's 23.
At least she knows, Phil. Actually, at least she knows that she can't be messing around and living a hot girl summer lifestyle until she's 33 or 30, and wondering, where did all the time go? That went quickly. At least she knows, brother, that she can't be messing around. She needs to get a man, get some children, get some kids popped in her, etc., etc. What's your thoughts for it? Could this be a turning point for the Western women? That now science realize the error in their ways, or this is just an anomaly in the sand?
It's unlikely for there to be other Western women who think about this on a mass scale. So, good for her. I think she's doing the right thing. It'd be nice if there were more, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So, keep on using your passport. But I mean, good for her. At least she's not out 304ing it up. So, good.
Historically, within a generation, men and women have held similar views or ideologies. With Gen Z, for the first time, we're seeing something very different, which is that men and women within Gen Z have very different views of the world, with women being much more progressive and liberal and men being much more conservative. This seems to be a global phenomenon. These charts are from an article that was in the Financial Times yesterday, and they picked a few countries for this particular graphic, but in the article, they talk about countries pretty much all over the world. On these charts, the x-axis is time and the y-axis is political ideology, with higher on the axis being more liberal and lower on the axis being more conservative. If we look at South Korea, we see a huge gap that's developed over time among men and women between the ages of 18 and 29. And if you look at that red line, you do see women are becoming more progressive and more liberal over time, but really the biggest change is young men becoming much more conservative, especially in the last 5 to 8 years. Right here with the United States, with women becoming more liberal, men becoming more conservative, and the gap widening.
Why is this happening? Why are men becoming more conservative? Well, I'll tell you why. Okay, the culture is toxic. The culture is completely poison. We have OF, we have high body count woman. We have a society in the West where it don't care about men. It looks down on men. It blames men for everything. It demeans men. Okay, and we've had enough. Men have had enough of the constant blaming of the average dude. Okay, and the average guy, right, is struggling with dating. This is why someone like Andrew Tate came in the picture, and he just changed the cultural dynamic very quickly, because many men, Theo, could understand what Andrew Tate was saying. If you ain't on that 1% scale, the top 20% of men, right? If you're not there, you ain't getting any woman. So a bunch of guys can't get women in the West. They're angry. They're thinking, I've got my degree, I work hard, I'm an average dude. But the other day, a woman tells him, right, I don't date 9-to-5 dudes, right? If you work a 9-to-5 job, I don't date you. However, most men work a 9-to-5 job. And that's what we're seeing here, Theo. Who's gassed women up, right, to be saying those kind of statements? Feminism. Feminism, Theo, is a leftist ideology. Okay, a far left ideology that has destroyed dating in the West, the cultural dynamic, marriages specifically. There's no point being a liberal man. If you're a liberal man, I feel sorry for you. Liberalism is not for men, right? You gotta be conservative to get through the toxic West at the moment. What's your thoughts on this opinion, Theo?
I definitely agree with you on these ones. I agree on these points. I've become more conservative. Actually, it wasn't that hard to become more conservative. I just had to maintain my political view and not go with the craziness on the left, because they just kept on going. So yeah, I definitely became more conservative. it's nuts. I don't think these women understand to where they're going, and they need to evaluate their future. And if they think they're going to do it all on their own, they're nuts. So if they're, I would say to a lot of these women, you'll see what's going to happen, and this is not going to end well for you. So for the guys who are conservative and waking up, how many of them are becoming passport bros? So you definitely see Korean men in other countries trying to get married. German men also leave and go to other countries. How many German men did I see in Brazil? Quite a number, right? Yeah. So they're going out. Like us as black men going abroad, this is a new thing. Europeans been doing it forever. The number one in Japan, the number one interracial marriage is Japanese men with Asian women from Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos areas. They're bringing them over. When I was there, it was like between 10 and 15,000 a year. But right now, it has to be at least 20,000. So also Philippines. So those men are going out and doing something about it. So I would say you're seeing a shift. Women need to think where they're going, what their options are, what they really think the end state's going to be. Because if they don't figure it out, after 40, life gets really bleak without a family. Just saying.
Facts. And I think women have been duped by the liberal brainwashing machine. And we know the liberal brainwashing machine doesn't care about anyone. All it cares about is about profits. I need you in the cinema to watch Wonder Girl beat up a bunch of 6'5" dudes, even though, Wonder Woman beat up a bunch of 6'5" dudes, even though she's 5'5". So we need to keep gassing up these women, taking money off them. Barbie as well, right? You can do anything, whatever. It's a girl's world. All that nonsense, right? When they're old enough to realize that they've been duped, it's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Too late, bro. What's your thoughts, Theo?
Well, I think particularly in the case of Korean women, their options are very limited. So I would say a lot of women don't understand what the 35-year-old wall is. And they think they can have children 40, 45, 50. And I'm like, biology doesn't support that. And they have the IVF idea and everything like that. I'm like, that it's not really a possibility. So it's not a viable possibility. So I would say I wish these Western women luck. Let's see what they're doing. But I'm a Gen Xer. At least 50% of the women with whom I grew up are single and childless. And this number is only going to increase as time goes on. So, is this what you want, ladies?
My husband is on a 14-hour flight home right now, so I decided to surprise him by making some cinnamon rolls. He's been asking me to make him some for so long, so I thought now is the perfect time. I added all of my ingredients for my dough to my KitchenAid. I made sure to incorporate everything one at a time and slowly as well, just so everything can be kneaded in properly. Once my dough was smooth, I pulled it off the hook and formed it into a ball and let that rise for about 2 hours until it doubled in size. I obviously had to try the dough, which was delicious. Then I punched it down to release all the air and rolled it into what should have been a rectangle. Once that was rolled out, I made my cinnamon and sugar mixture and brushed my dough with a lot of melted butter, sprinkled my sugar on top, rolled all of that up, and then cut it into equal pieces. I put those pieces into my baking trays to rise for another 30 to 45 minutes until they're about double in size. After 45 minutes, I checked on them and they were perfect, so I popped them in the oven, and while they were baking, I made my cream cheese frosting. And the timing couldn't have been more perfect because Lucky was walking through the door right as I was pulling these out. They were perfectly soft and gooey, and he ended up having half of that sheet pan, so I think my surprise was a success.
See how black women, right, submit and cooperate with white men in the States. But we as black men have problems getting our own woman to cook us a meal like that and submit to us. I'll keep it a stack, right? And this is what was going on in the social media spaces for a couple of weeks. Why is it that, black women can do all these things, right, for Brad, Brady, but can't do it for, the brothers? It's a constant theme, and this is a Western chick feel doing this. And I've seen other clips of hers. She's completely submitted to Brad, her husband, whatever. The average black chick, brother, in America, in the UK, ain't doing this. It ain't fair, bro. It just ain't fair, bruv.
Brothers, learn how to cook. I can cook. I have a KitchenAid myself. I can cook rather easily. So learn how to cook, and then when you're in another country, cook for a woman abroad and watch her freak. So I showed the woman I just showed you, guess what? She's rather hot, right? I showed her examples of my cooking, and she freaked out. She could not believe I was able to cook as well as I am. I'm just saying, whatever the Western woman is doing, I don't care. I can do that and do it for a woman abroad. And my result will get me a woman beyond my expectation in my entire life. I'm just being honest. Let them do it. I don't care.
So you tell us to let him go completely? No, not let him go.
Yeah, because she's like, okay, I'm making cinnamon rolls for this guy, and look what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't care, because I showed you the photos, right, of that woman. I make cinnamon rolls. In fact, I would make pain au raisin or chocolate bread, Viennese chocolate bread for a Ukrainian woman instead. I'm gonna get that. So she's good. I'm fine. I got mine. She got hers. We good. I don't mind.
Wow. It's just interesting seeing this video, bro. Like, she's completely submitted, bro. Feminine, cooking, and we can't get that, bro. It's very hard, brother. We to get this kind of submission, brother. We gotta be, athletes, rappers. And even with athletes and rappers, there's still problems there, as you see in the media space. But Brad can be average Joe, truck driver, working at Walmart, get a chick like this, doing this for him. I'm tired of it, bro. That's why I got my passport, bro. That's why I'm out of here, because I just can't deal with this.
I just don't care. I don't care. I really don't. One of the things I told people I came back to America is that I've never had an ABW ever make me a plate in my entire life. I have no idea what that is. But I know Japanese, Korean, Thai Filipina making me a plate. I know what that is. I'd rather eat that food. I'm good. When I was in Japan, of course I had a KitchenAid, right? I had my KitchenAid in Japan. I would make casseroles, cake, bread, things like that. Women would swoon over that. So why do I care? If I can get a Japanese 8 to go moo moo gaga over my cooking, I don't care that she exists. So I'm good.
Can I ask this then, Theo, right? So if you cook, right, for a lady, right, and she likes it, she likes you, you get with her together, will she expect you, brother, to be cooking for her, frequently?
Yes, but I mean, it's kind of a good thing, because if she expects you to cook for her, then she's thinking about marriage with you. So she's kind of serious.
But she gotta be cooking the most, bro. Especially if I'm bringing her the household and paying for the bills, right?
Well, she's cooking also, but it kind of depends on who can cook the best. So I cook really well, just so you know. I'm really good at that. So I actually was kind of happy that I didn't have to argue with a lot of cooking decisions, because my cuisine was better than hers. But it's, she cooked things that she was good at. I cooked things that I was good at. We ate well. What can I say?